Alright. We is back for another day. Day 46, to be exact. Goodness, my hair. Gracious. Anyway. Welcome to another fabulous Thursday evening, where I am getting straight on into it. 20 seconds and we're in. We have with us, roll call today, strawberry yogurt ice cream, which I thought was just fully frozen yogurt. Turns out is actually ice cream with yogurt in it. But supplemented by a fabulous cup of tea in my Naruto cup, so we're on brand today. And accompanied by 1 glass of water, 2 glasses of water, and 3 cups of water. So we have a full house today, and I have over-prepared because today is going to be a longer stream than normal. It's going to be probably closer to 3 hours than usual. I tend to not do long Naruto streams, but today, couple of reasons why. One is that it is a day off tomorrow, so I don't have to go to bed early, which is fab. Second thing is, in the room over there, on the other side of that wall, my boy is playing God of War. Goodness. And there you go. Even my throat's constricting. Just listen to that. My boy's playing God of War. And I don't want to be in the vicinity, because I don't want to spoil it for myself. Yeah. I do not want to spoil it for myself at all. So I'm just trying to avoid listening to it. So, I don't want to hear things, because he tends to turn the volume up quite loud, actually. Yeah, he turns it up quite loud. So I don't want to hear it, and when I run to the bathroom or run to the kitchen, I'm like, I'm running through, and so he pauses it, and so I don't, see it either. Well, actually, no, because I have to, go purposely in that direction to see stuff, but just in case. Long story short is he is playing it and I have to sit here and not play it. And it's tearing me apart inside. It truly is. Although, again, having said that, the spirit of God possessed him to this evening. Because we got home from shopping at about 5, and we had everything done by 5:30, and then we had dinner, which was basically just chicken sandwiches, and he's like, oh, how long have you got to your stream? I'm like, oh, about what's that, an hour and a half. He's like, you can play God of War until your stream. I'm like, what? Seriously? Seriously? He's like, I know you want to, just do it. I'm like, oh Lord. Anyway, so I'm like, great, I'm not giving you a chance to second guess that. So just before I finally, even though it's only been out for a day, finally I've played God of War for about an hour. And for those who haven't played it and want to, I will not say what I've just done, but I've just done the first, I want to say it's not the first boss fight, but it's the first boss fight. So if you play it, you'll know what I mean. I've just finished that, and my goodness, golly gracious, jeez, man, it is fabulous. I've only played an hour of it, but it's already fabulous. It's amazing and beautiful and lovely and fantastic and gorgeous and fabulous. So I'm very pleased. And so now that I've kind of had my fill, well, actually no, I haven't had my fill. I've had far less than my fill, but I've had enough of a fill to keep me off the boy's back, ish. But basically, as soon as as much as I'm not listening, so because I don't want to spoil myself orally. as much as I don't want to do that, at the same time, I need to listen out for when he goes to sleep. Because then I'm on that game with the quickness. My goodness. I will not, as soon as before his hand drops the controller, I'll have grabbed it. Oh no. I will have swiped it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll have swiped it. Give him no time to rest. So that will be me. So then I'm basically just going to camp all the free time where he'll be playing it. I'm going to be camping out in here, away from the TV, so I don't spoil myself. But yeah, I just like, it was just, oh my goodness, it was so difficult because we got it so like, oh, where is it? Oh, actually, because we actually got the collector's edition. So I was, yesterday, I was pretty much the entire day from 6:30 in the morning till 6:30 at night. I was traveling for work for a client workshop. So, and then the boy, he went and picked up the collector's edition up from EB Games. Oh, got him. I'll grab it. 1 second. We got the Mjolnir. It's so cool. Oh my goodness. It's oh god. Oh, you can't even see it, the lighting. It's in its Mjolnir goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we got that with the collector's edition. And there was a big box, and we got some other things as well. I would do an unboxing, but it's already been unboxed, so it's not much point in that. But yeah, so we got this, and we're very excited. So I can just play with this, just while I wait for the boy to finish God of War. I've got this to keep me company. But anyway, so at least there's that. Yeah, so he picked that up yesterday, and then I think he did actually get a chance to play it before he needed to come pick me up from the airport. So he did get some stuff there, and I remember asking, like, it was so funny. He picked me up from the airport, and you greet your loved ones, you're like, oh, come here, you go for the big hug. Even though I hadn't seen him, so, it was only, I've only been gone since the morning. But I'm just like, oh hello, and he's like, hello, and he like started to like move, and I'm like, a hug would be nice. And he's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, it's amazing, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, it's so amazing. I'm like, you just want to get home so you can carry on playing it, don't you? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, oh my goodness, I get it. I understand. Now that you've got God of War, I'm just a second-class citizen. I get it. I understand. But then also joking at the same time, because, well, we have a joke that, like, to him, in terms of the priorities of his life, there's showers, because he likes to be clean, God of War, and then me, and his girlfriend. But then, we joke then that when Final Fantasy 16 comes out, for my priorities will be showers because we like to be clean, Final Fantasy 16, and then him. Like, yeah, it's all in jest. Of course. But yeah, so so that's funny. So and then like all on the drive home today, they're just like all these slow cars. He's like, hurry up, I want to get home and play God of War. He's just, anything that would hold him up. And then because we've got a gate, like a big gate that you have to roll away, open when you come home. So the passenger usually gets out. So he was driving. And then I go and open the gate, and I'm just staring at him the whole time, and just like opening it so slowly. And then he was like revving the car up as if to like, obviously I'm doing it again. in jest. But yeah, and then it's like opening the door really slowly. He's like, come on, I need to play God of War. I'm just like, and then we do. I mean, he's only actually, yeah, even after all that, he's actually only started playing it now, as I've come onto this. So, because we had, had dinner and obviously watched, we watch memes and stuff and TikTok compilations on YouTube while we have dinner. That's our thing, because like all millennials, I think we're on the cusp of millennialism. But we don't watch TV, we watch YouTube. Oh my goodness, no! I need to stop doing this one hand. There we go. In fact, I might even do a free battle menu just to reset my fight list thingy, my bobs. Right. Shino and Pin. Yeah, but anyway, all of that being said, so today, I mean, we've got 116 fights to go, 130 now. No, 110 now. So, what I'm going to basically do is we play in this until I get down to 1,000 or 8,000. We're doing all 116 fights today. Which I think, I'm estimating, will take me approximately just under 3 hours, I think. So we're averaging sort of roughly around like 36 per half hour ish. Probably be a bit less than that. And of course it's all assuming we keep under 60 counts. That's my goal. My goal is 116 fights today. Because then I've done some other calculations. So what do I do? So we grab, how many fights have we done? Which is about 3,111. And then we divide that by the number of days, so in this case 45, and which averages actually around 69 days, or 69 fights per day. But those numbers are slightly skewed in the sense that on the first day we did 32 fights in 2 hours, which is abysmal. And that was because just how I was doing the randomizing was just like completely off. And I've like far better optimized it now. So we're able to do double that. So those numbers will all be very skewed. But, so then I take that number, so I'm averaging 69 fights. So then I say, okay, well, so I then take away the remaining fights that we have, and I divide that by 69, which then tells me how many days I have to reach 0. And so I've got 112 days remaining. So then you say, okay, then you divide that by 2, which is then 56.5, well, it ends up being like 56.3 or something. So that's great. I think it ends up being, yeah, but anyway. So you do all that. And then you basically just get a get your Google box and be like, okay, well, what's 55 weeks from now? Turns out I've been completely fudging my calculations to this point because it's 2024. January 2024, and I thought it was going to be October 2023. So that's fun. So then I'm like, okay, well, what do I have to do to bring that number down? So I found out if I do 90 fights if I average 90 fights, I will get that number down to, I'll get the date down to September next year, which is pretty substantial. So I was thinking, do I then try and do that? Do I bump up my stream times on both Saturdays, or both Sundays and Thursdays to 2.5 hours to get to that 90 number? Because I would like to try and keep it before, you know, the last third of, you know, keep it to, you know, the middle, you know, not the end of next year essentially. There we go. Yeah, that's my ideal, is to not have it in December 2023 or January. I'd like to have it far before then. So, yeah, so I might need to just try and up my averages per day. And that will come down to keeping all fights above 60 counts, foregoing the finishing with the ultimates where possible, and just getting good essentially, and also do my streams to about probably do them for about 2.5 hours rather than 2. I think would probably be better. And because we are actually like 27 point, I think we're 27.5 of the way there, which is not even a third of the way there yet. It's been 46 days. It's been since April or end of April, so I could probably, I might even say May, just to round up. Or round down, round up. Rounding, or round to May. That's really, I suppose, yeah, so it's been 4, 6, 7 months, and I've done 46 fights, which is abysmal. If you divide that by 24, oh yeah, no, because there were a few gaps, so it's, half that is 23 weeks is just under 6 months. So it's not too bad, I guess. So there was a few things where I didn't do, I skipped a few days here and there because for life reasons, I guess, for a variety of reasons actually. But no, we've got to keep things on track, especially around the Christmas period. Although that shouldn't be too bad because it shouldn't be too bad because what? Because we're spending Christmas down here, and you know, we don't do much with our lives anyway, so it's not like we're going to be doing much. And both me and the boy are on call during that time. Me because I want a little bit of extra cash where I can. Yeah, so we can't be doing anything too drastic. So it's handy. So then I could just do streaming. It'll be fabulous. I'll be like 5 hours of but then again, yeah, I'll be doing 5 hours of this goodness. So I'll be able to make up for. So I think it'll be New Year's. New Year's will be elsewhere. So I might lose a couple of days then, but that's all good. That's fair. Right, Chia, can you help me start clinching back some time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 12. I'm not too bad. Oh, thank you. isn't too bad. He's sort of being a bit, oh, lovely. Bam. Alright. Right, who have we got now? Sasuke Taka. And Chio again. Because Chio's one of those characters we actually haven't played much of. Yeah, but also, the other thing too, which I'm hoping, is that some of the slower characters who I seem to have played a lot of, which is Tenten, young Tenten, Shino, young Shino, Kankuro, young Kankuro. I'm hoping that we actually have actually played enough of them to actually run out of fights for them quite soonish. So then the last, like, hopefully like the last 500 fights is just all fast characters. Like your Minatos, your Sasukes, that sort of thing. Which would be fabulous. Be very, very handy. Lovely. Oh, bruh, come on. Bruh. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. 5, 6, 7. 14. That's the other game that's out now, actually. Sonic Frontiers. That's a game I'm actually really, really, really interested and excited to play for, because, to be honest, the last Sonic game I ever played was, I mean, if you count it, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Sasuke or not. This guy's strategy is odd. Like he's throwing lots of kunai to try and get my substitution down. Like almost too much. Okay, the right few. It's his fights like this that I was hoping I wouldn't be getting, where he's just being a little bit of a douchebag. There we go. Go. Okay, right, what's next? Kushina and Itachi Reanimation. Right, so who's that? Kushina and Itachi Reanimation. Lovely. Oh, the other thing too. Oh my goodness. I finally, okay, so for those who haven't been there for the history, so Mystical Ninja Star and Gun. A game that I played in my childhood and was unforgettable. It is a game I've remembered ever since. It is fantastic, it is amazing, it is incredible, it is beyond its time. And it was on the N64, and it is like a Zelda-esque-ish, like 3D Zelda-esque kind of game. Adventure, you've got dungeons, you've got bosses, you've got essentially your equivalent of heart pieces and medallions, you know, all of that loveliness. You've got that all, and what? Got all of that, and it's just one of those games, like, if you ever want to hear underrated game, that is underrated game 101. Oh my goodness. Bruh. How is this attack so huge? Wait. Oh, come on. He can have that. He can have that. That was awful. Right, who was I fighting? Reanimación. That was bollocks. Bollocks and stupid. You know what I've just realised? I played the wrong Itachi, didn't I? I did. I totally played the wrong one. Oh well, we got a bonus fight later. We got a bonus fight with the other version. Okay, right. We're gonna update the list because we are down to 8,100. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. And while I just remember, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna be checking my fights that I've done with Kushina and which Itachis have I done them with. Have I done them with any Itachis? No. Fabulous. That's what I want to see. So what that means, essentially, is that even if I did muck up that fight, which I always seem to do at least once now, every single time, is if I then do Kushina versus Itachi Reanimation and Itachi Akatsuki versus Kushina, then I'm all good. Like I haven't, my fights remaining is left untainted. Lovely. I'm going to be doing like 3 of these because honestly with the 10-10s there's no way I can get any level of decent damage done in a short amount of time unless I'm doing her ultimates. Like honestly, it's awful. She's awful. I'm sorry 10-10 for that, but it's true. Oh, I might actually still be able to get some level. Lovely. Lovely. Anyway, back to Mystical Ninja, the best game ever. Not the best game ever, but my top 5. Is it my top 5? Top 10, definitely. Anyway, so I decided to screw it. I came across, I have a N64 that I can play it on. So I'm like, screw it. I've only ever, since playing it on the N64, I've only ever played it on a ROM, and the ROM, the frame rate tanks. Every single time the camera turns, it just tanks to literally like 1 frame a second. I'm like, this is unplayable. I managed to finish it somehow. Must have been dedication on my part, but so I finished it, I'm like, screw this. I'm gonna get the cartridge. So I got the cartridge. It was gorgeous. Got the cartridge, even came with the manual as well, which was even great, even better. So I buy that. Lovely, great, amazing. Plug it in. Or slam the cartridge down with my fist, as you're meant to do. So do that. I'm then greeted, you know, play the game. Oh no, because then I needed a AV to HDMI adapter. So I buy one of those, so I can actually play it on our TVs. So did that. And then I play it. And then I'm greeted at the start menu by, you need a controller pack. Or, you know, controller pack not detected. Get one, essentially. And I'm like, oh. So then I soldiered on, carried on playing. You know, do the intro. Oh, beautiful, amazing. Oh, the nostalgia. And then start playing it. I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'm only want to play it for like 5 minutes because I need to do other stuff. But, you know, played it. So now I'm going to go and save. And luckily, because the game manual tells you everything. Every possible piece of information you want to know about that game, the thing tells you. It's fabulous. Anyway, so, yeah, so find the save thing and it's like, yep, do you want to save? I'm like, yes. So then it does you know, the pipping, like, you have saved. I'm like, oh, lovely, great, fabulous. And then it says, be warned though that as soon as you turn the controller or, you know, turn the console off or reset, that if you reset, then you lose all your progress. And I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me? What's going on here? What kind of effery is this? So then I'm like, oh, it must have something to do with the fact that it said it couldn't pick up a controller pack. So I'm like, great, lovely. So then I do some Googling, and it turns out that the controller pack, which was a little cartridge essentially that you plug into the back of your N64 controller and basically held more space, I think. It was like extra memory or something. Or something to do with the RAM. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, while, you know, most N64 games, you know, they just made some use of it to some degree. Some games, including Mystical Ninja, starring Gomon, for the N64, needed the controller pack to even just to be able to save the game. And I'm like, oh my goodness, does it never end? So then I had to go and trade me, and I've managed to found a controller pack for a reasonable price, and it arrived today, so I can finally play it. Oh my goodness. Now I've got stuff in my throat. I think it's all the dust I'm inhaling. Anyway, so finally got the controller pack, so I can finally play it and save it, which means, more importantly, I can play it on stream for all you lovelies to experience, because I've decided I'm going to make a yearly pilgrimage to the game. Each time I might be doing something a little bit different. One time it might be just a, you know, just a casual, just play it casually, don't really, you know, not trying, you know, to get the collectibles, just the ones that are, you know, easily within reach. I mean, there's only one type of collectible anyway. You know, not backtracking to locations to go to one place that you can now swim through, so, you know, to get one tiny thing. Not do any of that, just play it casually as you normally would. Because I've only ever 100%ed it twice, which was one when I was playing on, I think when I was actually playing on the ROM. No, it was on the N64. Yeah, but anyway. So yeah, do that. I might, you know, do my 100% playthroughs, and then I might even do attempt, and attempt being the biggest operative word, to do some speedruns. You know, I think the record's something like it's like an hour and 13 or something. You know, so I'll just aim, at least for the start, to do something like, 3 hours. Which I'm sure would be very doable. I'd have to practice though, I'd have to watch the route and practice it. Yeah, because I think normally, and it'll be interesting to see how much I actually remember, because the last one I did play it on ROM, it would have been, it was before I was with the boys, so over 5 years ago, easily over 5 years ago. I'm trying to think where I was. I must have been in uni. No, but then I remember my computer on a table. So, oh, it was sometime anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how much I actually remember of it. And see like whether, because you know when you always remember things. No, you always. What do? You always remember things, but then you seem to add details on. You always seem to add details on, and then you're like, oh, I don't know how my brain fabricated that. Yeah, feels a lot of that. Oh, hello, what up? Yes, unfortunately it's not trails yet. Thursday and Sundays are my Naruto days. And then, but Fridays and Saturdays are, we be trailsin'. We be trailsin' and trailsin'. So do not fear. And, because tomorrow is a day off, so I might even be starting a little bit earlier. Or even like going on a little bit. Going on, probably, I might actually start like a couple of hours earlier and play do like a 4-hour, 5-hour kind of stream. We'll see how I go. But oh, how are you? How are things? Who got next? Gara and May. Oh, of course, yeah. 2 degrees. Ow. Does it ever get like -10 where you guys are? So I think the coldest we've ever had it here is probably, I want to say -4. I don't think any colder than that. Oh wait, no, because I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. That's what I need to have on my desk. I need to deck my desk out with like helpful things. And I've got a giant, and I mean an absolutely huge tome of a dictionary, but it's got all of these great charts and conversion things in the back. I should probably bring it. I should probably have it on my desk because it'll help for like things like time switching and time zoning and converting things. Yeah. Jesus. -23, oh my god. How do you even live? How do you even survive? My goodness. And I genuinely mean that. That's like, we're struggling even at -4. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, that's mental. Yeah, because we're like, because we're approaching summer. Yeah, we're not quite in summer yet, so it's slowly getting hotter and hotter. And I, for one, despise heat in summer. I would rather, because you know, when you're hot and you're trying to get cold, there's only so much you can cool off without taking an ice bath or stripping your skin off of your body, because you need to get more layers off. Whereas with winter and warming up, you know, there's always more blankies and always more fires and stuff. And you know, there's always more stuff. So that's why I love you know, I way prefer winter. Oh my goodness. Oh, hello, Crazy, what up? How are you? A long time no see. I hope you're doing fabulously. Oh my goodness, no, I wasn't meant to do a rematch. What have we got now? Hinata and Jiraiya. No, don't want that one. I want that one. And Jesus, meter of snow. My goodness, we got the like a little icing sugar dusting probably about a month ago of snow, and that's about it. You know, shy of being back in Ireland, I can't say I've seen snow of any proper what's the word? Impact. That's probably the wrong word. Yeah. Right, come on. Oh, blimey. Come on. There we go. Lovely. Oh my goodness. No, I must say I'm the complete opposite. I just feel, I feel bad. Like I feel, in the heat. Like I feel like I need 20 showers in the heat kind of thing. Whereas in the, and I suppose also like the cold because it's a excuse to wear like slippers and dressing gowns and have like hot chocolate and curl up by the fire and stuff. Yeah, it's probably just an excuse. My goodness, you're like exactly like the boy. He'll probably, like, if we were in the Antarctic, he'd find some way to wear shorts outside, I can guarantee you. He'll only ever wear jeans when he has to like when we go out shopping or something. But even then I can tell that he's really just wanting to wear his shorts. Oh no, hopefully it's not my upload thingy that's bad. I hope not. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, you freaks. Wearing shorts in the cold. I'm like, if it's cold, beanie, scarf, 20 layers with a big puffy jumper over the top. Thermals, trousers, like jeans. I wear fluffy socks, fluffy boots. I am cozy, and I'm just oh so happy. I'm oh so cozy. Beans. Oh no, are you sick with the flu or something? Hopefully it's not the Rona. This one question actually is the virus of Eastern origin, is that still going, is that still quite prevalent over in the States at the moment? Because I know we're going through like waves and waves of it in New Zealand. We're having another wave come through now. But I was like wondering, is it actually still? Do people like even still care about it? I guess over there. And no, crazy. I haven't actually got any of the DLC characters beyond the ones that just randomly unlocked randomly all of a sudden. I actually haven't. I've decided I'll get the once I've finished all of this. I'll get the DLC characters after. Oh yeah, and I hope you get better soon. I always find, or we've actually found recently that water with like, if you get a water bottle, like a pump water bottle, with about 5 drops of like lemon juice or something, that actually works wonders. You know, it's not going to cure it fully, but give that a go if you don't already. If you can get lemon juice. But that we found that works quite well. Yeah, and I would also like to say that ice cream helps, because I do eat too much ice cream when I'm sick, and I like to think that, you know, I get better because I'm eating ice cream, but I would feel it would be irresponsible of me to recommend ice cream, but I also want to at the same time. Kankuro and 4th Kazekage. Lovely. Not the emote. I'm thinking once I can get custom emotes, I'm already planning what I'm gonna have, but there's gonna be at least 10 that will all be ice cream related to some degree. Yeah, hopefully the restart helps. Oh, wrong one. Keep picking up glasses that I am. Yeah, I'm still just like, oh my god, like it's just so like, it just blows my mind when like people who like have even over 100 followers are following. I'm like, what? Oh my goodness golly. Like I suppose, and it's probably something that will eventually like, you know, one of those things I suppose gets, you know, it would still always be cool as time goes on, but I think because I want to say relatively new, I'm not completely, I've only been doing this for a month, but like it's still just like, oh my goodness, like thank you. I just want to like give you like a hug or something, you know. It's like you don't even know what to say, like you don't even know if like thanking you don't know how to thank them in a way that will truly express your gratitude, because you don't want to be like, oh thanks, because then it's kind of just like, you know, you don't want it to come across like you're just like meh, but like you genuinely don't know how to say thanks, like in the way that you want to. Yeah. Oh my goodness, 120 people. Blimmin' heck. Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do. I'm just like, you just turn into like an absolute like mumbly mess. Like, you wouldn't do, you know, it's just, and then when, you know, if a whole bunch of them start following too, you're just like, oh my god, stop, what do I do? Oh my goodness, Oh yay, and glad that the phone restart helped. It's always the case. Well, like I notice it with everyone at work notices it with our work laptops. Is that, you know, like when Microsoft does or Windows does their hey, you've got an update coming. You know, update thing. Restart your computer. You're just like, nah. And then if you do that enough times, your computer just starts going like haywire, and it's almost like Windows is like, come on, bro, I'm gonna start messing with things until you finally restart. So of course, when you do restart, everything's peachy. But we're pretty sure that the computer's like designed to just screw with things when you're just not updating. Yeah, but I'm glad there, and I suppose for phones I've found a pretty similar thing as well. But yeah, but no, I'm glad the reset helped. Yeah, and then I think I've probably had overall like, I want to say like probably like 4 or 5 people follow off stream, and it's so weird to me. Like it's crazy to me to when it happens, because I'm just like how did you find me? Like how did you find me? Or like how did you? I don't know. It's weird. I'll never understand it, but yeah. Oh no. Oh. Who was I just playing? Fighting Keeper. Oh no, are you like that, you know, you bedridden to the point where you're just like, help, I need some water. I think it's I don't want to get beat yet. Like my ego, I need to strengthen up my ego before I go on Ekbok. Yeah. It'll happen eventually. Yeah. Yeah, I know, and Bull, like, honestly, like the shout outs and the constant, like, you know, follow the chick, like, honestly, I cannot express my gratitude enough. Like, you seriously, like, you don't have, like, I know that you don't have to do it, but, you know, the fact that you want to it means the world. So I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I haven't forgotten that I will find some way to repay you back for the gift of trails. Like, I will find it. I will, like, I've even written it in a notebook of, like, things I have to do. Oh my god, crazy. There was I remember a time I was playing what was I playing? Tekken with a whole bunch of mates, and one of these guys, one of my mates, he just completely just had no mercy to anyone he was playing against. Like, wouldn't even get you in a combo in edgeways. Like, you couldn't touch the guy. He was just combo after combo, and you kind of just went just like, please just let me get one hit on you. He's like, come on, try, it's all good, it's all good. Yeah, and it's just like and yeah, so it's like, I'm sure I wouldn't be so shocking, you know, I'm not so shocking at Naruto that it would be you know, I wouldn't be that badly abused, but yeah, I'm still, I get, when I'm facing against other people, it really just does show how you're so great against the computer, but against other people you're just like, no. Oh my goodness, like, you don't eat, like, it's all good, like, you guys are too good. You guys are too good. Too, like, oh, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's, like, honestly, you guys do not have to do anything at all. Like, this generosity is too much. It's too much. I can't handle it. I'm gonna die. I'll actually die. True. But it's like a... I don't know, I pay it forward, but then I also need to like pay it, like I'll pay it forward but like split, like a branch split. So like I pay it a little bit back to you, just as, you know, as gratitude for things. And then also like pay it forward to someone else as well. Like I'll be paying it forward but like in two directions but also forward at the same time. Wait. Have I just done this? Have I just done this fight? No, I haven't. Why do I feel like I just done this fight? No, I did it with... No, I did it with Tsunade. I'm kind of getting... I'm getting it more and more, and I don't know if it's I'm just not paying enough attention to what I'm doing, or whether I'm like genuinely losing the plot. But there are so many times where I would finish a fight and I will just completely forget who I was playing as, like completely. And there's also like times where I've just finished a fight and I do another one, I'm like, hang on a second, this doesn't feel right. Like, I just picked the wrong character or something. I'm losing it completely. But no, I think, you know, and I need to think positively. It's not that I'm losing the plot, it's just I just wasn't paying attention. Which is a little less, it's less concerning than if I'm losing the plot. It's mostly right. But I also need to remember to do, if I manage to get through all the fights that I want to today, there's one more pairing that I need to do, because I did muck up a fight before, as usual. Yeah. Oh my god. You don't, oh my goodness. It's not about showing anyone else up. It's like, honestly, it's all good. It's all good. It's fine. Like, even just like, to me, you know, even just sticking around to, you know, like, just being like cool dudes is more than enough. Like, honestly, it's fine. Oh my god. It's not like a gift wars. It's, yeah. Like I see it, like, I, on a fundamental level, I fully understand what you mean, but like, it's just, I don't know, it's just so weird to me. Like, I suppose it's just something that I'm just not used to, I guess, and so it's just a completely foreign concept to me that like people are nice, you know. And it's a weird, and it's a sad thing and a weird thing to say, that it's like people just being nice is a foreign concept. But like, it's, yeah, I don't know, it's, and I suppose, you know, all you hear nowadays is just people being a-holes about things. So it's like, when people are just genuinely being nice out of the goodness of their own heart, it's just like, wait, what? Really? Like, what's the catch, sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Because one of the things I was actually thinking, because I was, you know, I'm trying to, I suppose, you haven't played it. Oh my goodness. Like, are you sure though? Because I mean, like, I'll play it and I'll give it back. Like, it's like think of it as like borrowing, but just across borders. It's like I suppose in a way, I could probably see it as, you know, lending your mate a game, like when your mate at work or your mate at school's like, oh hey, I got, I don't know, Viva Pinata, you know, I've got Viva Pinata, you want to play it? And I'm like, yo, I'll play Viva Pinata. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll bring it to school tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. I suppose it's like that, but just think about it like, rather than bringing it to school, you're shipping it to New Zealand. And then when I finish it and then I give it back, I'm shipping it back to America. I suppose I could think about if you think about it that way, it makes me feel better, I guess. No, it's your game. No, I could not keep it. Oh my goodness, I couldn't bring myself. Like, yeah. But no, because one thing I've been thinking about, you know, future-proofing things, and I'm thinking of like things I could do to be able to give back to you guys, like in a tangible way, you know, as well as like, you know, perks, I suppose, or like, you know, recognition for stuff, like, but also like, is there something like, it's kind of like fan mail, but like reverse fan mail kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like I've been thinking about that sort of thing, and I've been like thinking of ideas. So as I figure out what I'll properly do, I'll run it past you guys. But yeah. Oh my goodness, like I don't know. It's so weird. Like I don't know. It's not that I like feel bad or feel sad or like don't want you to express your generosity. It's just such a weird concept to me. Like, it's just so weird that you want to. Like, I'm just not used to it at all. So I think, like, I'm sure over time I'll get over it and I'll get used to it, but it's just like, if you want to, then, you know, I will not stop you at all. But, like, I just want to preface it by saying, like, if you don't want to, that's fine. Like, it's all good. But yeah, I don't really know how else to say it. Yeah. But like, I'm like thinking of so many ways that I can, like, whether it's like, yeah, like I said, like reverse fan mail essentially, you know, like things that I can like make or do or something that you guys can then, you know, like, probably not as something as, I don't want to say like, you know, if I like, probably not something as lame as like badges or so, you know, but like something, I don't know, something like that. Yeah. No, okay, I won't give it back. I'll like, oh my goodness, if you ever want it back though, simply say so and it will be on its way. But like, yeah, but I will cherish it. Like, it will be cherished. It will be like, I'll even get like a special like case for it, so it stays untouched and undamaged, undamaged. Yeah. Like, cause I was thinking, like, if only there was like international freezer transport, because then I'd ship you ice cream. Like, cause I was thinking, like, if only like you could ship ice cream in a cost-effective way, that you don't have to hire special freezer trucks. Cause I would like ship you ice cream, like, you know, or if there's like, you know, if there's like, oh, I don't know, it's almost like a, what do you want? Like it's kind of like buying like birthday presents. Like, I want to get you something so bad, but like what do you need? Like, do you need socks? Do you need like a blender? Do you need I'm not ripping my soul out. Like, you know, do you need socks? Do you need oh, he's like fully blocking projectiles. That's why my stuff's not hitting. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think of something. If there's anything you guys can think of that would like, you'd be like, oh my god, that'd be so cool if like you did that, then just let me know. Let me know. Come on. Hey, there we go. Right, and I'll update the list after this one, because we're down to 8076. Stereo cookies. Oh my goodness. Hey Naruto, do you wanna just like... do you wanna just do some damage, my goodness beans? Good lordy, can you deal some damage, bruh? And 10-10, don't just stop bouncing around like a bloody fairy. Goodness. Great. That fight took 10 times longer than it should have. Golly grief. Okay, well, I'm going to update the list because we're down to 076. 076. Lovely, jubbly, lovely, jubbly, jubbly. Okay, what do we got next? Second Mizukage. And young Ino. Lovely. Oh my goodness, me too. I've been like reading up on, cause like Naruto is it's weird because the Naruto games are one of those games that like Bandai Namco gets a lot of money off of them, like a lot of money off of them. And you'd think that a fighting game like this, they would do crossplay, and it's weird that they don't. Oh my goodness, thanks girl. Yeah, I'm aiming to do to get to 8,000 today. I've got to kill time. I can't go out into the lounge while the boys playing God of War because I'm gonna spoil it for myself. And he might be at a bit that I'm not at yet, so I've got to just chill in here while he's playing and then listen to when he falls asleep. So then I know it's safe. It's safe to go out and play it. Oh, come on. Here we go. Ugh. Excuse me. Oh, but what's that crazy? Because you've got this on the Xbox or the PlayStation? Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh lordy. There we go. Bloody hell. AI's just decided to be an absolute maniac lately. I'm still holding on to my theory that the AI goes through cycles of just when it wants to be an absolute fool, and then when it just, you know, the screens felt like a sweaty hand. Oh my goodness. Goodness. whiiiile, young Ina. And who was I just playing as? Second Mizukage. Yeah, no, the boy has let me play 1 hour of it, and oh my god, it's so good. And I'm just now like, almost, it sounds really weird and probably like a bit too like extreme. You're like, oh my god, this chick's crazy. I'm like thinking like, how can I just like keep him awake during the night so then he's really tired the next day, and then he just falls asleep super early, and I feel like, great, I can now play it because he's fallen asleep. I'm wanting to have those situations, but yeah. But then I'm also like, at the same time, it's like, because now that we've sort of hit the November period, just slowly and steadily now for like the next year, it's just going to be game after 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 game, it's coming out, and there's too many games. Oh, but that's good. I hope your phone doesn't die. I hope your phone is okay and it lives on. But thank you so much, and I'll see, like, I'll find out what games do have crossplay, if there's any good things. But because if you've got this on the PlayStation, because you can get it on the PS Plus. I do remember I did have it at one point in time, so hopefully my saves come across. But then if so, then I can probably see if I can set up like a little, probably do like a couple of streams, you know, playing with viewers kind of things, to see how that works. But yeah, but no, thank you so much, and yeah, like I said, hope your phone doesn't die. Oh my goodness, 6 pre-orders, girl. You're gonna have like no money by the end of it. Yeah, because I've got, because I haven't pre-ordered anything, but I'm just ready to buy them on day one. Yeah, because I've got like on my wish list at the moment, because I've got, well, technically on my because I've split my wish list up into like things that have already come out. So that's things like, you know, well, now it'll be, you know, Harvestella, Sonic Frontiers, you know, soon to be Pokemon Violet, all that sort of stuff. And then there's all the games that have still yet to come out, and that's, you know, over any length of time. So that's, you know, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, Wayward Realms, Lost Soul Aside, Final Fantasy 7-16, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, like a whole list of, I think, about like 25 games. So, and there's going to be so many games coming out, because it's going to be like God of War is going to tide me over to Crisis Core, which is then going to tide me over to something in January, which is then going to tide me over to Theatre Rhythm in February, which is then going to tide me over to something in March, and then something in April, which will then tide me over to Tears of the Kingdom in May, which will probably then tide me over to Final Fantasy 16, which I'm foreseeing is going to come out in June, which will then tide me over, and then all of those games combined will then tide me over to whenever Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth comes out. And it's just gonna be, oh my goodness lord. It's gonna be mental. Gonna be too many games. I mean, I'm back up to 25 games on my backlog. So it's like, you know, but then I suppose, you know, on the little lulls, it is good to still have games to go back to, so it's just a never-ending stream of games, you know. And then when all those are exhausted, I'll still find more games to play. Like, I think on my overall like game tracking list, I've got something like 323 games overall on the list, and about 298 of those are finished. So it's like, and it is nice. Like it's pretty cool to like look back. You're like, oh my goodness, it's like all these games. How did I have the time? And then like sometimes I like remember games that I had, and I do remember finishing, and I'm like, oh my god, that's right, Crazy Frog Racer. I've got to add that to my list. Turn my light on. Ugh, there we are. Yeah, but no. But while the boy is playing God of War, I'm just gonna be playing with Mjolnir. Actually, because I've got the Marvel Thor Mjolnir somewhere. It's probably in the other room. So I'll just be like, Fwah, fwah, like you know, some imaginary person while he's like actually playing the game, doing what I wish I could do. But that, I suppose, is the one disadvantage. That's the one disadvantage to having a gamer boyfriend. Is that, and especially one that enjoys a lot of the games that you do, because then it's just a constant battle. Like we were joking a few days ago. Is it gonna get to the point where we have to set like an hour alarm on the whether we're gonna actually have to have an alarm where we set an hour, and then when the hour's up, we then, you know, it's like, right, the alarm's going, it's my turn now, you know, and just constantly do that like with children. But it will probably almost get to that point. But no, I've got to stay strong. I'm like, look, if I can't play God of War quite yet, you know, or at least, you know, beyond the hour that I've played tonight, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's the end of the world for a little bit, but like, I've still got other games to play. Yeah. Oh, it's like, it's lucky that that you've managed to actually get another phone. give the phone love, give it attention, tell it that it is worth it, and that it needs to not give up on life. And then I'm sure the phone will be like, okay, I'll do it for you, you know. But I don't know how else you can cool a phone down short of just like putting a frozen bag of peas against it. Dang it, alright. Just like pin it up against the wall, be like, listen here, pug, if you don't work in 30 seconds, you're gonna wish you never worked at all. And then I think then the phone will realize that you're not mucking around, and then it'll be like, you know, those memes of like the app or program on your computer that's just acting up, but then, you know, you open up Task Manager, and as you hover over it, suddenly it starts working because it's, you know, it's scared. It'll be a little bit like one of those things, but with your phone. A in Nagato. Oh no, your phone. Oh goodness. I was gonna say she'd be like, Mom, I'm into hockey. I'm gonna be New Zealand's next hockey world champion. No, that's not one, but yeah. Which would be like, great, that's fantastic. You go do that, and I'll just be here playing PlayStation. That's all goods. Yeah. Like I'm sort of like, I'm lucky in the sense that, you know, even though the boy, you know, I would call it, he is a gamer definitely by all accounts, but he's also big fan of hunting and fishing as well. So while I'm like, bruh, if you want to take the whole weekend off to go hunting, I will let you do that. In fact, I will buy you all the gears to be able to do that. And then, honey, you just take the whole weekend off. I'm not going anywhere, don't you worry. I will be right on this couch when you leave and right on this couch when you come back. I am moving. Yeah, but then obviously when God of War and the like comes out, then he's not moving from the couch either, much to my dismay. I'm like as much as, you know, as much as we want, you know, we'll have one of every console, you know, and when the new ones come out, you know, each new console generation comes out, you know, we'll get them as soon as. But like, we don't want I wouldn't ever get multiples of them, so we wouldn't have 2 PS5s or 2 Series X's, you know, because I'm like, as great as that would be, and it would stop a lot of this, it's also overkill. Yeah. But then at least, joy of joys, because the way we've done it is that, you know, the person who's more excited for it gets dibs on who plays it first. So obviously the boy with God of War, even though I'm very excited, but he is Kratos, so he gets first dibs. And Final Fantasy 16 and such with me. But for Elder Scrolls 6 is where it's like, we are both equally excited for it, which is like incredibly, like, more than anything. So, and thankfully that crisis has already resolved itself, because I play Elder Scrolls on consoles and he plays them on PC, so sorted, easy. Lovely, and oh. Fabulous. Gorgeous. I hope you're not having to look after your man as if he was a child. I would hope. I would hope even when he's not on holidays, you know, you're not having to like look after him as such. But yeah, but I see, like, I know what you mean. Even though I don't have to, like, even though the boy is, you know, he's not at all like someone you have to actively look after. You know, it's sometimes people are like, can you help me out with the weeding? I'm like, I'll just be inside and do the dishes, you know. I'm trying to, you know, do the whole play to my strengths. Like, he likes being outside and I like being inside, so why don't we do the chores that is relevant to whether it's inside or outside, you know, best use of our strengths. You know, I'm trying to apply the philosophy that we're having at work to my home life. But really he just knows I just want an excuse to play games. Like, I'm one of those people that's just very, very easy to predict. Like, so easy to predict, in fact, you'd be like, huh, it's a day off. I wonder what she's doing. And if you would say she's probably playing games of some description, 99% of the time you'd be right. Unless the house was a mess, in which case I needed to clean it. But other than that, I'll be playing games. Which again is, you know, not you know, I'm sure over time is, you know, I'm sure a therapist would probably look at that and be like, there's possibly something going on there, but hey, I like it. It's an escape. Escape from this cruel, harsh reality we call the world. Right, Madara Reanimation and Obito Masked Man. Lovely. What's today, the 11th? Oh no, because I just realised next Thursday I might have to do my Naruto stream on a Wednesday next week, because Thursday night me and the boy were actually going out, what's it, Jordan Peterson's has a talk on at the town hall on next Thursday night, so I'll actually be going to that, because it was funny, I was listening to him do a video on thing, and I was talking to my boss, and she was talking about something. Oh, we're talking about like Microsoft Teams and, you know, meetings with clients and all that sort of thing, and I was, you know, there was something that Jordan Peterson said that I found relevant, and she's like, oh my goodness, you need to talk to like our boss, like the owner of the company, because it's a small business, tiny, small company, it's only like 20 people, but so we work alongside like the boss man. She was like, oh my god, you need to talk to him about Jordan Peterson, because he's like obsessed, and he's just like, because she didn't actually know anything really about it, and so she was asking me about him, what I thought, and then she's like, oh yeah, because he's like, yeah, because I've got tickets to his talk in like November. I'm like, wait, what? He's coming here? And she's like, oh yeah, I got tickets and stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my lord. So I went and booked tickets like straight away, but then I did a boo-boo. I did a big boo-boo. Oh my goodness, I felt so bad afterwards, and I'm trying, I hope I can resolve it, but I don't know if I'll be able to, in which case I've lost like $500. But anyway, so in my haste to get tickets, I went to this, and I'm sure if you're in the know, you'll probably be like, oh my god, girl, as soon as I say it, but I went on, typed it in, and the first thing that came up was a paid ad for a ticketing company called Viagogo. And apparently this place is absolutely notorious, but of course I'd never heard of them before, so I was none the wiser. So then, you know, I booked the thing, it's like, oh my god, only 2% of tickets left. I ended up paying $500. They're about $250 each, so about $500. $550 actually, more like, for these tickets. And then I booked them, and then I realised afterwards, you know, so when I realised that something was very amiss, was when I got the email to say that I bought them, but then there was no tickets with it, and it said, you will have your tickets, we will send through your tickets within a week of the event. And I'm like, why am I not getting my tickets now? Like, what? And then I did some research, and oh my goodness, I'm like, oh great. So in my haste, didn't even properly read this bloody website. It's a ticket reseller, so some people buy the tickets and then resell them on these websites at an exorbitant price, almost like double the price of what it is, and I've fallen for it fully. Oh my goodness. And because it doesn't actually tell you what your seat is, it gives you like the general region that your seat will be in, but nothing beyond that. And then, you know, and then what happens is that the seller promises to give you your tickets and that they will be valid, and then basically, you know, they then get paid the money once, you know, the event's happened and, you know, the tickets have been used and blah blah blah. That's when they actually get their money. But I read in the terms and policies that if the tickets are invalid, e.g. they try and scan them at the event and it goes, meh, which I think has actually happened, because then on a sidetrack, which I'll get to after, is what I think actually happened to me, but through another way. Anyway, yeah, so then if that happens, then you've got 14 days to basically say, hey, these tickets were rubbish and they couldn't actually get in. So I'm like, beans. I've just paid almost double what I should have really been paying. Oh my goodness, I can't tell the boy because he'll lose it. He ends up finding out one way, but no, because I did tell him at some point, but I lessened the price so he wouldn't get too mad, but he still got mad. Anyway, so I'm like, beans, okay, so I'll actually buy it off Ticketek. Like, I'll actually buy it from the actual license seller. So I bought the tickets again. So, I've now spent $800 when I could have only spent about $300. Fabulous. Oh, but it's Jordan Peterson, so to me it's worth it. Anyway, so there's that, and then so basically what I'm hoping will happen, because then the other thing too is that there's whole like Facebook mom groups of how to get your money back from Viago, because they are notoriously insanely difficult to get a refund from, because they're like, oh well, we're not refunding it because we promised the seller that they'd get their money, we can only refund if something's really wrong, some BS like that. Anyway, so my hope is I'll have 2 sets of tickets. I'll scan the Viagogo ones first at the event, and hoping upon hope that there's a mat, because if there is a mat, then I can like lawfully appeal to get a refund, because I'll say, look, these tickets were, they're bogus, and then pull out my other valid tickets from my pocket and be like, great, well those ones, but can you scan these, and boom, then we're in the event, and then explain to the security guard or whoever, be like, hey, this is the situation, I'm hoping that these tickets are invalid, but I've got actual valid ones, I just want to scan both because I want my money back, essentially, is the, I realise I got scammed, essentially, and just want my money back. So hopefully, hopefully they realize, they acknowledge that and they don't think I'm being dodgy. Anyway, so there's that. And then, because then all of this reminded me of about 2013, so I was still at school. My dad got me, mum and dad, as a present, got me tickets to Def Leppard when they were in New Zealand, in Auckland. And I was like, oh my goodness, because they were my favourite band at the time. Still one of my favourite bands. Iron Maiden's just like clinched them out a little bit. Anyway, so I got tickets, 2 tickets. My mum, unbeknownst to me, was secretly hoping that I would have asked her to go, but didn't ask one of my mates. Anyway, so we go. And then we get, on the night, we're like, oh my goodness, so excited. Oh my goodness, yes. So we go up, and then they scan the tickets. And it's like, man, these tickets are invalid. We're like, sorry, what? Excuse me? So yeah, the tickets were like fully just invalid. So we ended up going to the ticket booth, and what ended up happening was the people at the ticket booth ended up got me to call my dad. He's like, what's going on? And this was on my I don't even know what type of phone it was. I think it was I feel it was a Nokia, but also at the same time I feel it was a Samsung. It's like a Samsung Fantasy. It was like one of those flip top ones with the little screen on the cover. It was so cute. But anyway, I was like half battery, so I'm like, please have enough battery. So the people in the ticket booth ended up talking to my dad, and what I think happened was he bought it from a ticket reseller, so the tickets were completely invalid. So I think what he did was he must have paid for new tickets at the time. He must have just fully just then and there paid for the new, because we got tickets and we managed to get in okay, but that's what I think happened, was the exact same thing happened to him. So I'm hoping that these invalid tickets these tickets that I've bought off the reseller are invalid, because then because it's according to their website, I can legitimately claim a refund from them. But if not, then I'll be like, beans, can you scan these tickets too? And then basically we'll have 2 options of seats to choose from. You know, or I don't know, throw them out the window and whoever catches them can get in, you know, that sort of thing. So that's my hope anyway. So basically, for an event there I could have spent like 170 per ticket, equivalent of about 400. So over double. But that's okay. That's alright. And that is my story of why you do not be so excited to buy something that you end up going on scam websites just because they happen to have, you know, they paid for Google AdWords, essentially. Essentially is what it's all about. Which I found out because I've also been recently absolutely fascinated with the Church of Scientology. Absolutely fascinated. And not in like the ways in like I want to join, because far from it. But just fascinated in just how it's even a thing. It's weird, but anyway, but the guy I was talking to about it, he was saying that they pay exorbitant amount of money for Google AdWords, or, you know, paid to be promoted on Google, for things that like disparage or detract from ex-Scientologists that they think will be an enemy to, or a threat to the church. So like there'll be websites about why this person who essentially escapes, because you don't leave, you escape from the church. You know, they'll have create websites about how while they're a child, you know they've done all this manner of abuse to all these manner of people and their ages. And all manner of things, and they'll pay like heaps of like Google ad stuff to get those, you know, when you type in this person's name on Google, like that's the first thing that you see is this, you know, all these disparaging things about them, and it's just like, ooh, it's so seedy. But yeah, so basically, if something's promoted up on Google Ads, like when you type something in Google and the ads come up first, don't assume that they're at all legitimate. Just all Google Ads mean is that someone has got money and they want to use money to promote something, for good or for ill. So that is that's my advice. I'm sure most of you probably all know that already, but I just thought just to, you know, make it clear. But yeah, so okay, so how much have we done? We've done actually quite a lot of fights. And then, so after this one that I do now, we've got 56 left to go. Can I do 56 in about an hour and a half? Yes, because I've done far more than that now, I believe. And that was with some absolute duds of fights as well. Lovely. Oh my god. So I have to like, sometimes I have to temper my I want to say ego a little bit, maybe, possibly, with some things, you know. I'm not a very, I'm sure all narcissists say that they're not narcissists, but I don't think I am properly. But at work we had the what we call them the fun police. They're just the people in charge. You know, there's two girls who choose all our like midwinter, you know, events and where we're going for Christmas dinner, you know, Christmas pay, that sort of thing. But before I do that, I will drop this down to 56. All right. Lovely. Yeah, so they've and they put up because we knew that the Christmas event was going to be coming up soon, but we didn't know what. So they recently put it up, and we're going to this restaurant, and there's a big feast banquet. Not banquet's probably the wrong word, but they call it the thing that, you know, the region feast. And you know, so we're excited for that. And there's a quiz event, and for those who know me, I will never turn down a quiz at all. I mean, I'd like to say my family is notorious on the pub quiz and fundraiser quiz circuits, I must say. And so I was, because it was yesterday that they announced it, so I was travelling, but I was at the airport just chilling, you know, browsing the web as you do. And so I was, what was I doing? Yeah, so I saw it, and I was gonna put, so basically, I know deep down that whoever's on my team, because they said teams, you know, basically we'll have our teams chosen for us. I don't know if they're gonna like randomly do it, or they're gonna like, because technically the two girls who are planning all this, I'm guessing will be taking part, I think. So yeah, so it'll be there, I guess. Well, I don't actually know how they're doing it, because but anyway, but they said they'll be choosing the teams, or the teams will be selected. And I was gonna put down reply, because this is all in like a big all company chat. I was gonna say, just saying, but whoever's on my team, not saying we'll win, but there's a 99% chance that we will. Or I was going to say like 99 to 1 odds chance that we'll win. And that sounds completely uppity, and I don't care. Because I take quizzes very seriously, like too seriously. Like not as serious as some, like at this pub quiz we used to frequent, where we used to live. There were these like, you know, teams of like old retirees and stuff like that, and oh my goodness, they take that stuff seriously. Like if you even so much as glance at your phone because you got a text message, they will give you the death stare of death. Like you will want to shrivel inside your body. They stare you down so much. But anyway, but I still take my quizzes seriously. So I was gonna put that in. I had it all typed up. I'm like, no, I'll let them realize that on the day when my team comes to a resounding victory. Spearheaded by myself, obviously, as the self-nominated team captain. I'm deciding now that whichever team I'm on, I will be the team captain of. I'm deciding for them. They don't know it yet, but they will know on the day. But anyway. So yeah, so I was thinking, no, I won't say it, because then the problem is because, and it's why I said 99 to 1 odds rather than a 99% rather than a full 100, is because it comes down to the nature of the quiz. Because there'll be 3 possible ways that they've done things. One will be they're just making up the questions themselves, which if you want a good, well-rounded quiz is extremely difficult to do when you're just coming up with questions off the top of your head. The third one, there's 4 options. So there's that. The second way is you just go on like quizquestions.com, and then you just basically just get a mix of different questions and you just chuck them all together into a quiz. Third one is that you buy, like there's like companies and websites that you buy a quiz pack. Sometimes even come with their own little quiz master. So there's that, which would be good. And then the fourth one is that it's a quiz, not in the sense it's like 8 rounds of 10 questions, but like a quiz is in like it's 2 rounds of 5 and they're all themed around the company. That sort of thing. It's all that sort of thing. So those are the 4 possible options. Now, depending on which ones it is, will be whether my team's going to win or not. If it's like themed around the company, obviously the people who've been there longer and who are far more sociable than me will have a bigger advantage, so it's that one. but then I would obviously then rely on my other teammates to pick up the slack, you know, to yeah. The second one is, if the questions are made by the people, by the two girls, then the nature of the questions will probably be like, the music questions will be like their kind of music, which I know is not at all any kind of music I listen to, so I'm already at a disadvantage. Second one is, if it's quiz questions off a quiz website, they will either be so difficult that everyone's getting like scores of like 2 and 3 per round, or they'll be so easy that it's tens across the board, and suddenly every team is tied at the end. So there's that, which obviously how you're going to tie break that. It's very easy to tie break that, but yeah. And third one is that if it's bought on a quiz pack, then my team will win. Because we're good with quiz packs. We're very good. But anyway, so there's that. But also, there's a company that does it in New Zealand. I think even Australia as well at this point. I think even they do such stuff in the States now. But they're like the gold standard kind of one in New Zealand. And they do different packs, different difficulty levels as well. There's quizzes that they do, like they're all the same format generally, but there are certain quizzes where, like the pub quiz that we used to go to on Tuesday, well, I would say it's probably their like for quiz aficionado kind of things. Like it's not too hard, but it's hard enough that if a team was getting 10s every round, there's something wrong. Like they're cheating. Like it's for 10s across the board. Like the questions are diverse enough and of varying levels of difficulty enough that to be able to get every question right, you'd have to be either like, you know, ready to be a chaser on the chase, or you're cheating. One of those two. Yeah, and then there's other quizzes by the same company that I've seen done at fundraisers where you can just tell that the difficulty of the questions is far less than what you'd be used to at the pub quiz. Like once you've gone to the pub quiz enough, you kind of get a feel for the sort of difficulty questions they have, and like the fundraising ones are like not that at all. Like it's almost like, hang on, this is too easy. Like, or like not too easy that you're getting 10s across the board, but easy and like a noticeable easiness. But yeah. But then again, only if you've been to the pub quizzes to know that it is easy. But anyway, it's all a very, very, very long-winded way of saying I'm very excited for the quiz at my work Christmas event, and because it's partners too, which I'd be very interested to see if they split up, you know, so like me and the boy wouldn't necessarily be on the same team kind of thing, or would we? Because I know that his like the times that he's came to the pub quiz with us, like whenever there'd be any kind of like car question, any kind of question to do with any kind of animal, boom, he's like instantaneously got it. It's like his, like the kinds of questions he'll be able to get would be insane. Like our team would have never had a chance in hell of getting them, and he's like, boom, done straight away. And I'm like, that's why I love you. That's why I love you. I get very like passionate about quizzes. I love them so much. There's just something about them, and it's like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's because you can, you know, is it just you can just show up other people with your knowledge. It's like, it's not even that. It's like there's just the feeling you get when you see a question and you're like, oh my god, I know the answer. Or even better, when you're able to piece together the answer, or you're talking about it and then you just have that epiphany moment. Like, it's that feeling that just gets that I just find really addicting, you know. But also there's a little bit of like a, you know, like I'll always say, the one round that we had at the pub quiz, where it was like the first round, which is generally in the pub quiz that we go to, the format of the quiz is, or like the way that they do the rounds is very they'll keep to a sort of style, in the sense that the first round will generally not be just straight up questions. There'll be some like gimmick to it, so you know, it'll be you know, it'll be like the kind of like the logo quiz kind of style questions, or it'll be, you know, brain teasers, or it'll be something, you know, here's 10 dates, you know, 10 dates across the top, and then we'll just say events and you have to match them to the date kind of thing, that sort of thing. But there was one around video game character silhouettes. The other teams didn't even stand a chance. Literally, as soon as the question popped up, me and my sister were like, psh, done. Oh, the next one, psh, done. Next one, psh, done. Because we noticed for the video game questions, they were lower difficulty than they could have been, because I'm sure that even though it's not a niche subject at all, for the kinds of people going to the pub quizzes, it's a niche subject. So they wouldn't ask, you know, when they have video games character silhouettes, they wouldn't have Entropy from Crash Bandicoot. They would just have Crash Bandicoot. They wouldn't have Rouge from Sonic. They would have Sonic. It's, you know, it's that sort of thing. So, you know, for me and my younger sister, like, you know, give us the Entropies, give us the Baron Praxis from Jack 2, all that sort of thing, you know. Yeah, so, and then it, like, literally as soon as the round was done, you know, and you had, you know, then you had your couple of minutes to, you know, discuss your answers before you bring your sheet up. Soon as, like, you know, as soon as the questions got finished answering, just stood up and just walked with my head held high. Would have been an absolute embarrassment if, you know, we got 9 or 8, but no, straight 10. The guy who's watching the guy go tick 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 tick, done, boom, done. Fabulous. Bow in awe, the rest of y'all. We didn't end up winning, of course. I don't think we ever. I think we only ever won that particular quiz like once in the 12 years that we went. But that's because we're 900% certain that there was a team down the back who, because there was like a projector screen down the back that they showed the quiz on, but only one team was ever down there, because I kind of just, they were like a team of like 12. It was just a bit naff, really. But yeah, they were a team of 12. They just all, you know, huddled around this particular screen. No one else could get in, you know, you'd be able to see anyway. So they could have been on their phones for all we knew. No one can see them. Quizmaster definitely can't see them because he's literally around the corner from them. So no one would be able to check up on them, and like that team would win like 50% of the time. Like there was 3 or 4 teams that basically whoever won that week was one of those 4 teams. Like, and look, I know there's a lot of you know, there's quiz teams that are just really good. You know, they win quiz championships, but it's kind of like you just kind of got, you know, just kind of got the sense that it's just a bit too, like, there's a bit too much going on there. And I mean this with the most respect, they all just seem like a bit of dicks, really. They all seemed a bit too up themselves for their own good, really. So, I don't know, make of that what you will. And I also had this lady on another team, you know, another big, you know, people who've been there, going there 12 years plus. She was saying to me, I thought we'll talk to her about something. I don't even know how I was talking to her. It might have actually been at another quiz I was talking to her. Or she just came round and was chatting for some reason. And then we were talking about that, and then she's like, oh yeah, no, we're not all stupid. They're obviously cheating. Like, we're not dumb. There's no possible way they cannot be cheating. I'm like, oh goodness, okay, so it's not just me then thinking that. They're all thinking it too, okay. Yeah, so, but no, but if you're on my team, you be not be cheating. But I remember, oh yeah, and so this other quiz, so the way that they did, the way that this particular pub quiz went was, they would have basically, in each quiz, there would be, like they called it the ponderous puzzle at the end. So that thank you Devil CTR for the follow. Thank you very, very much, and welcome. Yay, did it. Okay, we got next? We got Obito and Young Tenten. Ugh, meh. But yeah, no. So yeah, so they would have this thing called the ponderous puzzle at the end of a quiz, and oh no, at the end of each round. Oh, you're from Italy. Welcome, welcome. Goodness, what time is it over there? I'm assuming it must be early in the morning, or like semi-early in the morning. Lovely jubbly. Nice. I'm guessing you've played all the Storm games. They are amazing. I actually started. I think my first Storm game was actually Storm 2 because I didn't have a PlayStation 3 to play Storm 1. And then I ended up managing to play it like years later. But I ended up, I think the order I played it was like 2, 3, 4, 1. But no, they are fabulous games, hence why I'm playing them so much as well. Or playing this one in particular. You know, I've done like 3,000 fights, you know, with many more to go. Right, we're only fight 66. Right, now that I think about it, we've actually done... we've only... No, hang on. No, 66. There was a set of fights that I didn't do, so we're actually on technically fight 72. Technically. Which isn't too bad. That's on track. So if we've done 72 fights in 2 hours, then that means we would, that's 36 fights per hour, so 72 plus 36 is 108, so we should be done just after, a little after 3 hours. Possibly. So I'm gonna stop bang on 8,000 fights to go. Because where are we at? We're at 8,044. Alright, but if I keep up the streak, I should be good. Yeah. But anyway, no, yeah, so at this quiz, the ponderous puzzle. So at the end of every round, there'd be like it'll either be like a thing like a country or I mean, sometimes they've even had things like inventions, like a famous invention, or it'd be like a celebrity or an animal or just something that you can get 10 round worth of, or even a year sometimes. It'd be like years, countries, even sports, that sort of thing. But what's it? So they would, so at the end of every round, they would just have like a series of clues. So the first, you know, so let's say the answer was Naruto, for example. You know, it will be, so you know, at the end of round 1, the clues will be, you know, created in first aired on TV in 2001. Something like that. No. Wrong. No, that's wrong. 2002? Sometime. You know, features, you know, is the most popular media no, actually no, that'd be too easy of a clue. But they'll be like, you know, really esoteric clues. And then at the end of every round, they'd have obviously more clues, but they would just slowly get more and more easy, like more obvious clues. So, you know, so the end of, you know, at the end of round 1, if you still haven't got it, the clue will be, here's literally a picture of what it is, you know. You know, here's a picture of Naruto. What is this? You know, that sort of thing. So so at the bottom of your sheet, you'd write down what you thought it was, and then if you got it right at the end of 10, out of round 1, you'd get 10 points. If you got it right at the end of round 2, you get 9, and I think so on and so forth. And so, you know, so you'd be trying to get it. And I remember there was one round, and then we couldn't believe we didn't get it. But so it was like, you know, I featured on the cover of Playboy magazine 3 times. I have my own line of clothing. I have appeared in, I've appeared at fan events, or, you know, I've appeared at conferences all over the world. I have raised, you know, I have a net worth of 750 million. You're like, who the hell is this? So, you know, so you're getting all these clues, you're like, I don't know, Pamela Anderson, Heidi Klum, you know, all these sorts of things. And then you know, so round 2 goes by and you're like, who is this? What's a supermodel that's got all this sort of stuff, you know? So then you do more and more. And then I think it was I want to say it was around 5 or around 4. And it was like, I have been to places such as Shangri-La and Atlantis and things. I'm like, whoa, oh, hang on a second here. This isn't a real person, is it? It's a fictional character. But I'm like, who the hell would have appeared on all this? So it's obviously a lady character. But is it a film? And then we're like, oh no, it's bloody Lara Croft, isn't it? For goodness sake, it's bloody Lara Croft. So, of course, that was the correct answer. There'd been teams that had gotten it before us. But it was like, up until that round, there'd been no question or no clues to even hint that it was a video game character. It was weird. Like, weird. Yeah, and I just remember, like, kicking myself, like, the one bloody video game thing that we get, and I don't even get it on round 1. So bad. So bad. But then other times, we've gotten it, you know, bang on 10, because, and, you know, and it's, sometimes you get those Slumdog Millionaire moments, where, you know, when you know the answer because of some random tiny thing that you saw or experienced, like, 10 years prior. So, like, there was one, and it was a city, not a country. It was a city, and, you know, I had all these things. I've got a population of blah blah blah, and I've got this many square meters and all that sort of thing. And then they had a picture of a building, and it was like a science building, and it was like these big, like, essentially like a molecule looking thing. And I'm like, ooh, I've seen that before. And I know where I've seen that before, because in my youth I got these, when the Mr. Bean animated series came out, they had one of those, like, fortnightly magazines that you buy, you know, every fortnight the next issue comes out, and, you know, you get something that's part of a set sort of thing. But it was Mr. Bean's Amazing A to Z, and it was essentially just like a kiddie version of a fun encyclopedia that's all Mr. Bean themed. And I distinctly remember they had, in the B's, they had one on Belgium, and one of the little things that they had was that in Belgium, in Brussels particularly, there was a science building. I can't remember what the building's called, but there was essentially a science building shaped like a molecule that was, you know, does stuff. I think it's got labs in there. I think they actually do, like, lab stuff in there. It's not just like an exhibition. Or might have both, but anyway. And I'm like, I know this one. And voila, we got 10 on the Ponderous Puzzle. It's just like, I think that's what I love about the quizzes, is that when you get those moments, you have those Slumdog Millionaire moments where you're like, I know this somehow, I know this, you know. And then sometimes, like, you know, your mum, dad look at you, they're like, how the hell could you know that? You're like 12. And I'm like, I know it because I read it in my Mr. Bean's Amazing A to Z book. In fact, that encyclopedia has actually given me so much knowledge than I otherwise would have had. It was great. If anyone's got the Mr. Bean's Amazing A to Z, you know exactly what I mean. They were quality stuff. I hope my parents still have them. I might even grab them to bring back here. It's the kind of thing you kind of want to keep. They were great. But anyway, but yeah, like I was telling the boy, and because the other thing that this quiz did, which for some reason no one seemed to grasp that it was a thing, even though we kept telling them over and over again that it was a thing. So one of the things that me and my younger sister and the boy, when he went, the one thing, well, that me and my younger sister picked up on, but we also told the boy so he was able to pick up on it, is sometimes you get a question and they'll be playing a song in the background, you know, just as a, you know, there's a, hey, we're playing a song. But oftentimes the song would have a direct link to the question that they're asking, like practically giving the answer away if you knew the song, like pretty much giving the thing away. So like the most prevalent reason was there was a question about so AA, you know, AA roadside help or roadside assistance or something, you know, like the insurance company in New Zealand. You know, there was a question of what in, you know, 2020 or whatever, what was the most common problem that AA insurance or roadside assistance got called out to in New Zealand? What was the most common problem that they got called out to help with? So everyone was, you know, the team was deliberating, and, you know, was it flat tires? Is it, you know, what is it? You know, is it a, you know, overturned or all those sorts of things, or, you know, the hubcaps come off or something like that? And then we're sitting there, and then they were playing a Metallica song in the background. You know, me and the boy and my younger sister, all Metallica fans, and my sister's like, they're playing Battery by Metallica. So I reckon it's a car battery. A flat car battery is what the thing is. And we're like, genius, because it makes sense. Like, when you hear, like, it makes perfect sense that would be what it is. And so we're like, hey team, we know the answer. It's a flat car battery. And they're like, how the hell do you know that? And we're like, because if you know, that's what the song's called. It's called Battery. Why would they be playing that song over this question and have it so obvious, like, so obviously, you know, it is it. So they're like, oh, well, okay, but if it's wrong, then we'll, and of course we're right, you know. So, like, when you had those situations, if you knew the song, you know the answer. Like, that's just what the quiz makers did, you know. And very, very rarely would there be no like 1 in every 100 would there be no correlation between the song and the question. So then, because me and the boy were actually talking about it this morning, actually, in the car, but he was saying, oh no, because we were listening to Metallica in the car, and that's what made me, I'm like, oh, remember that time? He was like, yeah. And then there was another, and he's like, I never forgot it, where there was, I can't remember what the question was, but he recognized the song in the background as Gin and Juice. Oh no, it was like, what is this cocktail made out of? What are the 2 main ingredients in this cocktail? And so so the boy was like, gin and juice, because that's what the song is. The song's Gin and Juice. And then, like, my mum and dad were like, no, it's like gin and tequila or something, because that's what, you know, because, you know, we know drinks and it's not gin and juice. And I'm like, you know, I'm on the boy's side, because the boy understands the logic. He understands what's going on, so he's like, no, but he's got the right idea. And yeah, so of course the answer was gin and juice. And my parents were like, oh, sorry. He's like, oh, it's okay, I guess. I understand. But yeah, but like the amount of times like we would be like, oh, the answer's this, and my parents are like, or even just the rest of the team, like, how could you guys possibly know that? And it's like, if you just listen to the music, it literally gives you the answer. It's that simple. Like, it really is that simple. Like, because it was there was a question where who does, oh, what's the name of oh no, it was a multi-choice one. It was I think it's Bette Midler. I want to say it's Bette Midler. What was the name of her persona or something that her stage whatever. And it was, so is it the it was the something Miss M, and is it the amazing Miss M, is it the whatever Miss M, or is it the divine Miss M? And when I read that, just like whoosh, like this, like a lock opened in my mind, and I just for some reason had this distinct memory of, I must have been like 8, and in the living room at home, I think it must have been like a Saturday afternoon or something. Parents were somewhere. In the living room at the back in the corner, we used to have a computer there, so I'd always play Pokemon Sapphire on my Game Boy emulator. And I remember playing it one day, and they had the TV on, and there was some, I think it was like one of those, it was like a music channel, but like for oldie music kind of sort of thing. And I remember there being the program started, and it was the Divine Miss M. And I'm like, oh, I remember that. So I'm like, Mum, I think the answer is Divine Miss M. And she's like looking at me, she's like, how could you possibly know that? Like, how could you possibly know what that answer is? I'm like, because I saw it on TV once. And she's like, no, I think it's the whatever Miss M. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's the thing. And she's like, again, how could you possibly know that? I'm like, because I saw it on TV this one time like 6 years ago. You know, and obviously when you say it like that, they're like, what the hell are you on about? But it's like, it is so frustrating when you're right. And they're like, oh, sorry. I was like, if you just listened to me with what I have on my point. Ah, oh my goodness. Oh man. It's just, yeah, one of those things, I guess. Yeah, so was there any other moments like that, I think? But then, you know, and then I think the reason that my dad stopped going to the quiz was, you know, because mum knows everyone in the town I grew up in, like everyone. So she'd like have all her mates just pop in, you know, for, you know, days or so, and there'll be, you know, people who'd stick around for a few months at the quiz, and there'll be some people like, the thing that my dad doesn't like, or he just gets very like about, is, and it's like, it's my dad more than anything else, but it's just like, you know, when people, it's kind of like, you know, you hold up a pear and you're like, what's this called? And you're like, it's a papaya. And everyone's like, well, no, it's not, it's a pear. And they're like, no, it's a papaya, because of this one thing. I remember reading this article online that actually they're all papayas, and it sort of looked like that ish, and I'm pretty sure it's a papaya, and like everyone else is like, no, it's not. And they're like, oh no, it is. And they're like adamant. But then you kind of like, because the other thing too is when you're on a pub quiz team, you don't want to make anyone feel dumb, or like you don't want to be like, that is so obviously wrong that I can't believe your brain lets you make that connection to even do that. You don't want to say that, because that hurts feelings. So you kind of just have to let them just talk shite. And so my dad hated when we had people on the team like that. So that's why he stopped going. Like, oh my god, Dad, you're such an old man. Goodness. Yeah, but my mum and dad would be very, very much like, how could you possibly know that? How could you possibly know the answer to that? You know, you and your 15 years on this planet. And I was like, I know things. It's just things like it's the Slumdog Millionaire moment. You just know the answer to this question just by happenstance. Like something has happened. You've experienced something at some point in your life which has given you the answer to this question. If I do a perfume spray, which I don't think he's actually going to let me do. If I can get the perfume spray done, there we go. Now, this, hold up, this, nope. Never mind. I was going to say that was going to do some damage, but obviously not. Lovely. Okay. This should do some damage. Yes. Beans. Lovely. Actually, no, not lovely. That's me. Come on, Cuddy, you got it. Lovely jubbly. Lovely, lovely jubbly. Okay, I might update... Or actually, no, I'll update the list after... when I get down to fight 20. I think. Because then it'll be the last, you know, the last 20. The last stretch, so to speak. So I'll just scroll down my list. Oh yeah, so I've highlighted in blue which fights I need This fight has taken way longer than it should be. I think I might forgo. Oh no. Oh, if I can just get her on a combo. Beans. Oh, come on. There we go. Ah, oh, beans! Beans, beans, beans. There we go. Goodness, that took longer than it should have. I don't want this to go over 3 hours if I can. It might go a little bit over 3 hours. But anyway, who we got next? We've got Mei and young Sakura. So this should hopefully go faster. Hopefully. Pretty sure the AI is just being a little mother. on. Bam. Fabulous. So yesterday, just to show you how old I'm not old-fashioned. No, anyway, yesterday, so I had to travel for work, and it was my first time ever getting a rental car. Nerve-wracking experience for me, purely because if something went wrong, then I would have nowhere. I'd be stranded down south. Nowhere. I needed to get to drive an hour to a client. And then drive another 2 hours after that to get to another city, which is where I was going to be flying out of later that evening. So anyway, so I got the car. It was like a big Mitsubishi Eclipse, I think it was, or something. But anyway, it was a car. What's it? So I get in the car. I managed to successfully get the car. Put my bag in the passenger seat, get in, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's one of those like keys that doesn't actually have a key, so there's nothing to like put in the ignition. It's just a car with buttons, I'm guessing, to do that. But anyway, so I get in, and I'm looking around. I'm like, right, how do I turn on this car? So I'm like looking. I'm like, okay, there's nothing in the ignition. There's in my dad's car, which looked very similar. There's like a little thing that you push in and turn where the ignition is. None of that there. I'm like, okay. Right, I'm panicking. Well, not panicking. I had like 4 hours to get to a place an hour away, so I had plenty of time to kill. But I'm like, where the hell is this bloody ignition? I'm looking at all these buttons and all these pictures. I'm like, there's nothing which looks like an on button. Oh my goodness. So then on the other side of the steering wheel, there's a little thing that you have to, start and stop or something. So I'm like, great, I'll press that. So I press it, nothing happens, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Not realizing that there's another screen at that point, which is then telling me to turn on the car, you've got to hold down the brake and then press the start and stop button. So I'm like, okay, press the start and stop button, or hold down the brake, press the start and stop button, we're golden, we're away, we're humming. So I'm like, great, right, I'm ready to go. Let's put the handbrake down. I'm like, right, there's no handbrake. Where the hell's the handbrake? So I'm like, is there even a handbrake, or does it just automatically put a handbrake on when you put it in park? Well, it might be a fancy car. But then where's the emergency brake? Because there should always be an emergency brake in a car. So I'm like, fingers crossed I don't get into a car accident or need to know where this bloody thing is. So anyway, so start the car, I start moving. Right, I can move. There is no handbrake that's been down. Fabulous. So, I drive. I then pull up at the town that's like 5 minutes away from where I need to be. I'm like, right, it's 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's go have some breakfast. I'll just do Macca's. Why not? So I do that, and then so I park up the car, and I'm like, right, okay. So I put into park, stop the engine, and then I let go of the brake slowly, and of course the car starts moving. I'm like, right, so there is a bloody handbrake. Where the bloody hell is this thing? Goodness. So I have a look, and then right next to like where the gear shift change thingamabob is, there's a little, almost looks like the light switch, like the electronic window thingy with a P on it. So I'm like, okay, does that mean park? Oh, is that the thing? So I flick it, and this little like red light goes on, and I hear this like coming from the back. I'm like, did I just open up the boot or something? Like, what the hell is that? But then when I then lift my foot off the brake, the car doesn't move. So I'm like, that's the handbrake. Goodness, I never would have guessed otherwise. So now I at least know that when I get into new fancy fangled cars, at least I know to check everywhere for the ignition and everywhere for the handbrake. 'Cause my lord, what a mish. But then I'm sure that any other normal person would have been like, oh, it's one of these cars. Okay, well, press that there, hold down the brake. Well, the handbrake's this little flicky switch right here. But like, it doesn't feel like an emergency brake. It doesn't feel right. So that's why I'm like, something feels off about this. But yet it was. It was odd. It was strange. And then the other thing too is like, even getting the car was, because I had to drop it off in another town, It costs like an extra like 500 bucks on top of it. So I'm already broke enough as it is, even though I'll get reimbursed from work. But that's not till like the end of the month. And then because of also, you know, all the insurance, whatever you got to put on top of it. So if I had had a car crash, I could potentially have to pay up to $4,500 more. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even have $4,500 to my name anymore. You know, it's like, oh, all this money, my goodness gracious. So I was like extra, I mean, you should be careful on the roads anyway, but I was like extra careful because I'm like, I'm not paying $4,500, nor am I having to explain to my boss why I've had to pay $4,500 for crashing a car. Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, imagine being that person at work, because you'd never, like, hear the end of it from your work colleagues. They'd be like, oh, you know, if you're going to a work trip, don't let her get the car, because you might not see it. But luckily I found it was alright. The drive was fine. The drive went well, thankfully. I might do 2 of these ultimates. You know, I think the AI has gone back into one of its cycles where it just don't do much. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Lovely. Okay, who got next? We've got Naruto, Rasen, and Orochimaru. And Orochimaru. Okay, and then after the next matchup, which is Hidan and Sasuke last, will be, I'll update the list, because then we'll be down to 8,020. Oh, beans. Well, I've probably just got to do heaps of Rasengans. Actually. Yeah. Because they seem to do the most damage by far. And bam. I might not. Oh, no, it'll be like probably maybe 3 hours and a quarter till I get to. Till I get to 8,000. Because I reckon by 3 hours I'll probably have gotten maybe down to 8,000 and I want to say 10, maybe. Lovely. Okay, fast fight's a good fight. Okay, let's go to Hidan and Sasuke last. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know how that reminded me, but it did. So yesterday, when my boy comes and picks me up from the airport, we drive back, you know, it's 7:30 at night. He hasn't had dinner because he's been playing God of War since he got home from work. You know, and I haven't had dinner yet. I just had like a scone at the airport and that's about it. So like, right, let's just do something quick and painless. Let's just go to Macca's. So we go to our local McDonald's, you know. We go in there, you know, there's quite a few people in there, but, you know, so it's fine. Then a bunch of 4, and I'm going to call them youths, because I'm old, so I call them youths now. And they're all in there, you know, being youths, and just sort of just standing around, just talking crap about nonsense, and bothering the employees. Although I think one of the people working there was their mate, so they were kind of just hanging around just to hang out with their mate kind of thing. But anyway, so they're just all just standing around doing absolute nothing. And then one of them, who's obviously the leader of the group, because in those sorts of things you always have the leader of the group, who's usually the most loud, well, the louder one, generally the loudest ones, and just the most obnoxious, tends to be the most obnoxious, and the others are just kind of just following his lead. So they're all standing around, so me and the boy, we order, you know, we're standing off to the side, and then the leader, and he's wearing an awful bucket hat as well, so we could have, like, you know, talked smack about his bucket hat. He's standing in the group and he's sort of like facing towards it, and then suddenly he like does that and looks, so I can see he's looking straight at the boy. The boy doesn't notice that he's looking straight at him. I don't know how, but he just doesn't notice. And then this kid, like, you know when you're talking about someone, you know, in the vicinity, you don't suddenly like start talking out loud like this so the other person could possibly hear. You know, you're like, oh my god, I love that chick's bag, or those leggings look great on her, sort of thing, you know, like that sort of thing. And this guy just sort of just does that and goes, Keemstar. Like, I knew straight away what he meant. The boy didn't hear him or even notice that he was talking to him. And then so I sort of like nudged him. And he's like, what? He's like, that guy just said that you look like Keemstar. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. That he fully just like looked at you, directly at you, and said Keemstar. He's like, what the? Yeah, so anyway, so these hooligans ended up departing, eventually. But yeah, and then I was like, he's like, who that? And I'm just like, so I googled him. I'm like, he's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. He's like, really? They were saying that? I'm like, yeah, they weren't saying it quietly either. They were like, full. I was just playing at Sasuke, wasn't I? I was, wasn't I? Yeah. I just completely blanked out. The last 2 minutes has just completely gone from my mind. Oh my goodness, maybe I am losing it. What we are doing, or what we do have though, is we're down to 8,020. Right, we're on the last 20 before 8,000. Let's go. Let's just keep going. Keep the momentum. Yeah, so it was just out of it. Like, this guy just, I mean, then again, they were youths. I'd go so far as to say maybe like mid to late teens, possibly. But obviously small town youths are youths nonetheless. And they just say some just banal nonsense. Maybe it's my old age, my ripe old age of 26, that, you know, thinks that they're talking banal nonsense, but they were. And you kind of just, don't have time. Even some of the stuff, like the manager at the Macca's was getting absolutely, like, he was just, wasn't, like, having any of their nonsense. He was just over it. And I kind of got the impression that it was a common occurrence as well, that these people would come in to hang out with their mate. And their mate's like you know, even though he was doing work, he was doing it very casually and sort of walking around with his little, like, strut and swagger, sort of thing. So I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, let youths be youths, I guess, as long as they don't harm anyone or harm property. But then speaking of that, like, it's on like the news recently, like, because there's been ram raiding and stuff all over New Zealand at the moment. Like, it's gotten worse in the last few months, and it's all being perpetrated by young people as well. I was reading something today that apparently the number of stolen cars in the last week in our city, not in the town they live in, but the city nearby, is like 150 cars reported to police in the space of, I think they were even caught by police in the space of a week. And it's just like, people are like now just thinking that, you know, this kind of situation is just slowly getting out of hand, to the point like, why are all these youngins doing all of this ram raiding and stealing cars, and, you know, what crime is just slowly and steadily on the rise. And it's just like, I want to say it's those youths, you know, not the specific McDonald's youths, but, you know, just youths in general. It's like, why? There's video games to play. Video games are so much more interesting than ram raiding. Play some God of War. No, or just save the parents. Buy your children, whether they're a boy or a girl, buy them God of War Ragnarok, and they will be appeased. They will be appeased. I mean, like I suppose like growing up, I mean, you know, my parents were having to like beg me to like do something other than play video games. They're like, for God's sakes, when we were your age, we were like begging our parents to go out to parties and, you know, go out and hang out with, you know, do all these, you know, hang out late with all these boys and all this sort of stuff. I'm just like, I'll just rather sit inside and play games, to be honest. And they're like, why don't you want to go out to parties? Why don't you want to do what we were wanting to do? And I'm just like, I'm just happy playing my video games, to be honest. You know, I've got no inclination whatsoever to go to any parties, and by the sounds of all the parties that my mates do go to, and even when I did go to a couple, they just sound a bit naff, to be honest. Bit naff. And you know what I've just realised? We're on Fight 93 and we should be on Fight 94. And the only reason we'll be on Fight 93 is if we forgot a fight somewhere. So now I'm going to have a quick look back through the fights that we've just done and try and work out what fight we just did, or what fight we would have done that we didn't do. Oh goodness. We did the Haku. We did Kankura, we did B, we did Young Sakura. Was it the Hidan and Sasuke last one? I feel it might have been. No, because I'm pretty sure we did that one. There we go, okay. Oh my goodness, what did I not do? I've got a feeling it was the Hidan one. Because I did Kyrene and B. Did Mei and Young Sakura, yeah. Did Kyrene and Naruto. It must have been something to do with that Hidan one just before. No, but I swear I did it. Well, I'll carry on for the time being, and maybe it might come to me. Because it should be, Yeah, that should be fight 95. I did the Haku fight. Did I do the Haku fight? Yeah, I'm sure I did. Did I do the Haku fight? Yeah, I'm sure I did. It's even before that, maybe. Possibly be even before that. The current B means that Kari and Naruto last, yep. Konohamaru and Hidan, yep. Minato and Nagata, yes. Ah, did I do Konohamaru and Hidan? It's a Hidan one, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's one of those. Look, just looking back, that will be where it's all gone awry, I think. That's what I think's happened. I think what I've done is I've not... Yeah, I think what I've done is I've not played as Konohamaru. No, not played as Hidan versus Konohamaru. So what I'll do at the end of this is I'll probably do that fight. I'll get to 8,000 and then I'll do that fight and then and probably, yeah. And then if that was the one that I missed, then fabulous, I'm good. But if it wasn't, then I'll just have to check back and then just redo that fight at the start of the next one. So I won't be able to check now. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, but I'll carry on for now. Okay, now we've got Kabuto Sage and then Kabuto. Lovely. Oh, it's so frustrating when that happens. Lovely. Well, I might be able to get to 8,000 by the 3-hour mark, possibly. See how I go. And Cup Sage. I wonder if the boy's fallen asleep yet. Possibly. If he has fallen asleep and the game's still on, I'll have to like gently, most gently and utterly pry the PlayStation controller from his hands. Gently, so gently that he doesn't awake. Lower down the volume and then quickly switch over the profile so then I can start playing it. Conan and third Raikage. Oh, the third Raikage fight's gonna be fast. It's gonna be fast as all hell. I'll say in the top 5 characters that is the fastest I've won fights with, third Raikage is definitely up there. Just an absolute boost. It also helps that the fact that his melee attacks are like mega. Mega, goodness. Use words. Now, the other thing that I'm just thinking, I haven't actually checked, is there was a time way back when I think the first time I played May on this day, I'd accidentally picked a rematch option, and I'm wondering if actually my numbers got skewed all the way back then, and I just never noticed until now. That's actually an entirely plausible option. It would actually, because I think I remember thinking even when I did it, I'm like, oh beans, now I've got to, you know, that's a redo, or you know, that's skewed it. But so actually, it could be the whole time that I've actually been on track. I actually haven't missed any fights, and I'm not losing my marbles. Just entirely possible. Okay, I'm just looking at the fights coming up. We've got some. Yeah, they're alright. I say that the third Raikage is fast, and of course as soon as I say a character I'm like, you know, a character's great, you're super fast with it, or something like that, I always do some absolute rubbish fights with them. It's always the case. Always the case. Don't even know why I even bother. But anyway, moving on, we've got Darui, which I'm gonna say will be a fast fight. And then Young Choji, yes. God, I can feel my thumbs. My thumb's starting to get that weird feeling that it gets when it's playing on controller too much. Or now I'm gonna start getting carpal tunnel in my hands if I'm not careful. Okay, this will be a nice fight. It's when I start playing as Young Choji though, it's all gonna go pear-shaped. Should end it. Lovely. Gorgeous. Okay. Making good time, making good time. So after this one, we'll have 8. We'll be at 8,008. So almost there, almost there. We're doing Darui. I think the last, so 8,002 to 8,000 will be, who's it going to be? It needs to be, who does it need to be? There was a fight I did ages ago where I think I did the wrong matchup. It was, I used Itachi Akatsuki for the first. Was it Chio? Or was it? No, I did Itachi, Akatsuki, and then I ended up accidentally picking the reanimation version. I think I did the wrong one. I think it might have been with Kari. No, Kushina, actually. Yeah. It was meant to be a Kushina and Itachi reanimation matchup, and I think I ended up doing Kushina versus the Akatsuki version of Itachi. And then, so if I have to do Kushina versus the actual reanimation one, and then I've got to do the Akatsuki version of Itachi versus Kushina. Because then I would have done both matchups, and I can then just cross them both off the list. Lovely. The fact that I still managed to do that within 60 counts is a miracle. Miracle in and of itself. Alright, who we got now? We've got young Kakashi and young Ino. Young Kakashi, D5 Jutsu, and young Ino. Lovely jubbly. Getting close. That number's not right. No, maybe it is. Never mind. Don't worry, I'm just telling fibs. Damn. Fabulous. Now, just thinking. Again, I keep thinking my eyes deceive me every single time. I'm curious as to what this fight number is going to be. Is this fight 100? No, it is fight 99, okay. So it should be fight 100. And I feel that something's not right here. I feel like I've missed a whole 10 sets of fights. Because, so right at the start I did 6 fights before I kind of like reset the fight counter to 0. So basically you add, what's it? 6 on top of whatever the number is. But now I'm at number... Oh! No, hang on. Hang on. I know what's happened. The counter can't go past 99, can it? This will be fight 99 again. There we are. Can't go past 99 thingy-bob. Which means... Where did I notice the disparity? It was back with... when I was doing the Young Conqueror fight, wasn't it? Which was 16. So I had 8,016 left to go, which would have been around the time that I think I noticed it. So maybe I didn't miss a fight. Maybe I didn't miss a fight. Because that would have been around the time where I'd have gotten to the 99. losing it. Oh, I'm losing my marbles. Okay, anyway. So maybe I won't. I won't do that additional fight, but I'll just go back and just double check and then note down what it was. Who's our next fight? Shino and Kabuto. The next one, and then the last one, then the one after that will be the Kushina and Itachi, like, just get things looking good, kind of back to normal fights. Lovely. Lovely dribbler. So I should actually be too far over 3 hours, which is fantastic. Fantastic time. For 116 fights. It's insane. You do this more often. You'll be able to blaze through all of this stuff. No, I just aim for 100. Every day is 100. So then there'll be 80 days, which will be like 40 less. I'll be able to knock off 40 days, which is what, 20 weeks. I'll be able to knock off 4 months on my total if I did 100 fights every day after this. Wow. So that will be like an hour and a half. 2.5 hours. Which isn't that bad actually. Might even do that. Because that takes me to something like... That takes me like something like September, I think. Come on, substitution. Almost about due. Well, there we are. That should be it. Lovely. Okay. Yeah, in fact, yeah, if I can knock off 4 months worth, yeah, it takes me back to September next year, I'll be finished. The AI's definitely calmed down, which is always great. Almost done, and bam, lovely. Okay, right, last fights of the day. We've got Kushina versus Itachi Animation. And then we'll have Itachi Akatsuki versus Kushina. Oh my god. And Tachi, for some reason, the computer's just like, oh yeah, by the way, Tachi's gonna use his bloody crow attack all the time. That, and the Naruto 6th Path version with his bloody purple soccer ball. Oh, swear to God, the AI is programmed to use that about once every 6 seconds. He's programmed to use that bloody attack. The same with Itachi and the bloody crows. Like if you want to win a fight, you do Itachi and the bloody crows. This one's actually not too bad. That. You do that. You do that, essentially. Bing! Okay. Last fight of the day. Coming right up. I'm fairly certain that I did do the wrong matchup. Fairly certain I did. Initially. Excuse me. Oh, come on. There we go. Bam. Right, now we're gonna cheese for the rest of the fight. And bam. Lovely. Alright. We're finally done, and just over three hours, which is fantastic. 116 fights, what does that average out to? Just under 40 fights. Yeah, just under 40 fights per hour. More than my average normally is. Alright, so we finally got to 8,000. Oh, gorgeous, beautiful, amazing. Okay, and I will leave it there today. Next time, or I mean, next Sunday, in a couple of days' time, we'll be finally in the 7,000s. Oh goodness, won't even be a third of the way there yet. But hey, that's okay. Cool. So yeah, so I will leave it there for now. Tomorrow and Saturday actually will be Trails Cold Steel. Just getting on with that one because it is good and I'm loving it, and it's step one of a many-stepped journey through the entire Trail series, which I can feel I'm going to want to do at some point. But hey, small steps first. But yeah, as I said, I'll leave it here. As always, thank you very, very, very much for joining me on this fabulous and now dark Thursday night. Feels like a Friday for some reason. Yeah. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you is in the world today. I'm going to go see if the boy is asleep. I've got a feeling he won't be. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, although he might be. Hopefully he is, because I want to play God of War. Or I might just have to wait till he's asleep, which hopefully shouldn't be long. I think I can still hear things, so he'll be awake. That's all good. But anyway, I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you'll be here too as well. I look forward to your presence. But yeah, have a fabulous, fabulous time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.